Listening Library presents Hannah Montana, Rock the Waves by Suzanne Harper. Read for you by Eileen Stevens.
Chapter 1. Ride the Wave. Summer sun, summer fun, summer love. Ride the wave. Let it bring you what you're dreaming of. The sun had already risen high in the cloudless blue sky over Malibu by the time 15-year-old Miley Stewart woke up. She pushed a strand of brown hair out of her eyes and blinked sleepily at her bedroom ceiling, sensing that there was something different, something delightful about this morning. The only problem was that she couldn't quite remember what it was. Two birds sang sweetly to each other in the jacaranda tree outside. She turned her head toward the window, smiling, then realized that this was the first thing that was different. She could actually hear the birds. Usually, the gentle sound of birdsong would be totally drowned out by the painful sound of her older brother Jackson, singing loudly and incredibly off-key in the bathroom. She lay still for another moment, luxuriating in the sense of peace and watching dust motes dance lazily in the sunlight that slanted through the window curtains. Then she stretched her arms over her head, enjoying the feeling of being completely rested and relaxed, which, now that she thought about it, was also strange. Usually every morning started with her desperately trying to find the braying alarm clock so she could hit the snooze button one more time. That was it. Her alarm clock hadn't gone off. Miley bolted out of bed, panicky, and raced to her closet. She should have known as soon as she saw the way the sunbeams crossed her room that the sun was higher in the sky than usual, which meant that it was very late, which meant that she would probably miss the first bell, which meant... She stopped abruptly in the middle of the room as she finally remembered the glorious fact that had been nagging at her since she first woke up. No, she wasn't going to be tardy, because this was the first day of summer. 3 months of fun and friends and freedom stretched out in front of her, like a glorious present waiting to be unwrapped. Miley did a little dance of joy before running out of her room and down the stairs. "Good morning!" she called out to her father, who was mixing pancake batter in the kitchen. "Well, someone's in a good mood today," Robbie Stewart said teasingly. I wonder why that is." "Because I'm free," she said happily. "Free, free, free." Miley skidded to a stop and reached over the counter to put a finger in the bowl of batter. "Free," she repeated dreamily one more time as she licked her finger. "Whoa there, bud. You can lick the bowl after I finished making pancakes for everybody," her father said. "But there won't be any batter left after you've made the pancakes," Miley pointed out reasonably. She snuck her finger in the bowl again. "Yum!" "Morning." Jackson, Miley's brother, wandered into the kitchen. His tousled dark blonde hair made it clear he just stumbled out of bed. So did the fact that he was still wearing pajama bottoms and a t-shirt. Yawning, he grabbed a plate and held it out to his dad. "The pancakes smell great. I'll have 5, please. No, 7. Actually, I'm starving, so how about 8? Whoa, whoa, whoa," Mr. Stewart said. "Don't you want to take a gander at my works of art here first?" Miley rolled her eyes. Her father had grown very proud of his ability to create what he called picture pancakes, batter poured to resemble objects and animals, and insisted on asking his children to identify them before being served. Unfortunately, trying to figure out what the pancakes were supposed to be wasn't always that easy. Mr. Stewart would claim that the pancakes were alien spacecraft or giraffes or pickup trucks, but they all looked like blobs to Miley. Tasty blobs, but blobs nonetheless. Jackson peered suspiciously at the skillet. "Oh man, is that a tarantula? You know, I hate eating anything that looks like a spider." "Now, why in tarnation would I make a tarantula pancake?" his father asked testily. Look closer. Jackson tried again. An octopus? No! Open your eyes, boy! Jackson's stomach growled. His hunger drove him to start making wild guesses. An amoeba? A sailing ship? A car engine? No, and no. His father flipped the pancake, looking hurt. It's a palm tree. I can't believe you couldn't see that. Oh, yeah, now I do, Jackson said, hoping to get back in his dad's good graces and get some breakfast as soon as possible. I must not be awake yet, or maybe that gnawing hunger in my stomach is making me so lightheaded that I can't think properly. He held out his plate with a hopeful expression. Nice try, Mr. Stewart said grumpily, but he slid a few pancakes onto his son's plate. As he was adding a touch of nutmeg to the batter, the back door opened and Lily Truscott, Miley's best friend, burst into the room carrying a boogie board. She was wearing a t-shirt and shorts over her bathing suit, and her blonde hair was braided in a no-nonsense way that meant she was ready for action. Hey, everybody! Happy first day of summer vacation! She traded a high five with Miley, then sniffed the air. Wow, something sure smells delicious. Mr. Stewart beamed as he carefully poured more batter in the skillet. That would be my world-famous pancakes, he bragged. Come on, Lily. Check out this one. Lily gave Miley a long-suffering look. She had been subjected to picture pancakes on several occasions when she had slept over at the Stewarts' house. Daddy, just let us eat breakfast, Miley cried. We're so hungry. In a second, bud, he said. Take a gander at this skillet, Lily. You're usually good at this. Reluctantly, Lily went over to the stove. Is it maybe a snowman? A snowman? Mr. Stewart asked, outraged. Snowmen are for amateurs. I moved past snowmen years ago. A rose garden? A map of the United States? A line of ducks walking through a puddle? Under pressure, Lily was beginning to babble as much as Jackson had. Exasperated, Mr. Stewart held out the skillet to the room and pointed at the pancake with his spatula. It's Mount Rushmore, he said, as if this were blindingly obvious. Can't you see how I used extra cinnamon on Lincoln's beard? Miley, Lily, and Jackson stared at the pancake doubtfully. Come on, Mr. Stewart said. Just squint your left eye and tilt your head to the right and you'll see it plain as the nose on your face. Oh, yeah, of course, Miley said, trying not to laugh. I can't believe I didn't see that from the beginning. I think I need to take you kids to the eye doctor, her father said grumpily as he started a new batch of pancakes. You're developing serious vision problems. The door opened again, and Oliver Oaken, Miley's other best friend, bounded into the kitchen smiling. Hola, he cried. He had started taking Spanish and liked to use his newfound vocabulary whenever possible. ¿Cómo estás? Hey, Oliver, Miley said. Bueno. Hi, Miley, he said. Morning, Mr. Stewart. He peered into the pan, brushing his brown bangs out of his eyes so that he could get a better look. That's an airplane, isn't it? He asked. A 747 jumbo jet, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Stewart brightened immediately. Got it first time out of the chute, he cried before turning an accusing glare on the others. See what happens when people take artistic creation seriously? He turned back to Oliver. You feel like breakfast, Oliver? You bet. Oliver's brown eyes lit up. True, he had just finished eating 2 bowls of cereal and 4 pieces of toast, but he reasoned that he needed extra nutrition because he was still growing. At least he hoped he was still growing. Then grab a seat. Mr. Stewart put a plate with a stack of pancakes on the breakfast table. And get to eating, everybody.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?